Hello and welcome to the Year 9 Getting Started in Python unit. The aim of this unit is to teach you everything that you need to know so that you can create basic Python programs, ready to take you on to the next step. So, let's get started. Throughout the entirety of the unit, we will be learning, doing all our code on pythonanywhere.com. So if you haven't yet signed up for pythonanywhere.com, it would be a good idea to go onto there now and sign up for a beginner account. Do that now. And if you have done that, all the tutorials we'll be following will be, the videos will be available on learnlearn.co.uk and under the Python unit in Year 9. And this one is Lesson 1. Each of the lessons will have tutorial videos. They'll also have cheat sheets so that if you forget a piece of code, you can have a quick look at the cheat sheet. And each of the lessons will also have videos for each challenge that you've got to complete, together with the different levels. And we'll talk more about this in a little bit, about the different levels for each of the challenges. So whether you want to go for bronze level or silver level or gold level for each one. So, enough talking, let's get coding. Once you've signed up for pythonanywhere.com, I want you to click on the bit that says dashboard and then get yourself through to the console page. So dashboard, then consoles, and we're going to click on Python 3.4. There you go. Once you've done that, it will then take you through to the Python console. You know you're in the Python console because when it pops up, it will say Python 3.4. You'll have some more rubbish there as well. And we can actually start coding. Now this screen here, the black screen, it's not where we save programs. This is just a little area where we can practice and we can try out new code. We can demonstrate it. We can sort of see what's happening underneath the hood quite quickly without having to create a file, save it, and then run it. So it's really, really quickly. This is known as the interactive interpreter if you're interested. So let's get going. Let's do our first bit of code. The first bit of code we always do is hello world. And there we go. All its job is, it's a print statement. It prints it to the screen. And this particular print statement is hello world. There you go. Brilliant. And we can print hello world. We can print nice to meet you. There we go. And it will print out nice to meet you. You can do all sorts of things. You can also get it to do, if you do print hello world, if you did, let's have a look, times 20, it should print, hello world, and it'll print it out 20 times. You can do all sorts of wonderful things like that, which we'll be looking at more throughout the unit. So that's how we get it to print things out. But that's all very well and good, but as well as printing information out, we can also get information in from the user. So let's say we want to ask the user their name. Well, that's really nice and easy. First of all, we put name equals, because we're asking their name, and then we put our question in and input, what's your name? There we go. And it will ask your name. Now notice again, just like this print statement above, we've done the name of the function, which is input, open the what are called parentheses or round brackets, and then we've done speech marks. There we go. And then put your question inside of the speech marks like that. There we go. If you don't do that, it won't work, but it's not a problem. You'll just tell you. It'll have a bit of a moan at you. It'll say, nope, that's not good. But just to remember that, eventually it'll become quite easy. So it'll ask your name. So there you go. What's your name? Press enter. It's now asking me the question that we've just asked. Let's put Bob. And it looks like it's done nothing. Well, in computer terms, when we're programming, if it does nothing, that's usually a good sign. There we are. And if we press name, if we type name and press enter, it says Bob. So it has stored it. There you go. It's stored my name. If I put Bob name again, good. It's stored it. If we do name times 20, if let's do 200, We'll do loads of Bobs. So it's remembered the name. Now we don't have to just do it with name. We could do it with age. So we could do age equals input. How old are you? There we are. Enter. And there we go. And let's put 45. And it's now stored the age as well, which is good. Now, what we call this here, where we're storing an input into a value, whenever we're storing it against a named value or a named container, this is called a variable. That's age, that's a variable. Name, that's a variable. And we call it a variable because it could vary. You know, not necessarily the same person is going to use the program all the time. So whoever uses the program might have a different name. They might be a different age. So they're called variables. So we've asked their name, we've got Bob, and we asked their age, which is 45, which is good. So, which is all very good. But what if we want to combine their name or combine the data they've input with a print statement? So here, for instance, where you've got nice to meet you, why don't we say instead nice to meet you and then whatever their name is? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Well, let me show you how that works. Print nice to meet you. So again, you do your print statement or your print function as it is. You do your brackets and your nice to meet you and your speech marks, and then you close the speech marks, do a comma, and then put name. There you go, and it automatically swaps their name for the name variable, and it will just print it out together, which is good. I've noticed here that we need a full stop at the end of that sentence, so I'll just press up because that'll get the previous line of code, and let's do another comma, and let's do a full stop. There we are, and then hopefully, nice to meet you, Bob. Yes, it's done that. But there's a problem, because what it's done here is after Bob, it's done a space before the comma. Now, previously with name, where we've got the commas, we wanted a space before their name, so we did want that. So we do want that space there, but we don't want the space here afterwards. So what do we do to fix that? Well, what we do is instead of doing a comma after name, which puts a space in, you do a plus. And what that does is it doesn't do a space. There you go. Nice to meet you, Bob. Brilliant. So we've got all the basic code there. We've got a print statement. We've got some inputs and we've got variables. So we're ready to start on our first challenge. So let's have a look. Challenge 1, nice to meet you. And if you play the video on the challenge, you'll see that the whole challenge, the idea is you run the program. There we go. Let's wait for that to go. Notice that it's saved as challenge1.py. It's a good idea to save because it's challenge 1. It'll ask your name and it'll print it out. Nice to meet you, Bob Jones. Brilliant. Now, in order for the the bronze star, we've got to ask their input for the name, which we can do, and we've got to print out a suitable response. And the code's got to be saved in a file called challenge1.py. So let's have a go at that one. Let's do that together. So, how do we create and save files? Well, first of all, we click on Dashboard, and we'll leave this console, and let's kill the console, close. And we need to create files. Let's click on New File. And because we're creating loads of challenges, it would be a good idea first if we create a new directory, which we do on the left, and let's call them challenges. New directory. We'll click on New Directory. And on the right hand side here, once that's worked, it's going a bit slow. In the file section, let's create a new file called challenge1.py. There we go. New file. You don't have to create a file called .py. You could call it something else. But the advantage of doing a .py file is that you're telling the computer that you are making a Python file. And what it means is that Python Anywhere then can use what's known as syntax highlighting, or it just changes the colours of your code, so it makes it a bit easier for you to read and spot mistakes. So let's have a look. Oh, no, we didn't. Oh, let's have a look. Print. Nice. Let's do some stars. Nice to meet you. App. Star, 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 star. Print. And we'll just do an empty line. And then let's ask for the name. Name equals input. What's your name? There we go. So name equals input. What's your name? And then we'll just do a print. And we'll do an empty space again. And then we'll print out. Nice to meet you, comma, name. Oh, and that plus there because it wants a full stop right next to it. There you go. And that is the basic version of the challenge done. So that's it. We've coded it all complete. It's ready to rock. Now what we do is we click on save. Good. Once we clicked on save, we need to go to the challenges folder. Now I'm going to hold on to control before I click. And the reason being is if I do that, there we go. It will open it so that we've got two tabs. One tab is the file that we've just created. And the other tab is we're now in the challenges folder where we could create more files, but we're not going to yet. What we're going to do is we're going to click here where it says open bash console here. And this will open a black screen again. This one is a bash console. It's not Python, this. You'll notice here it doesn't say Python 3 or any of that other rubbish that it said before. It just tells you what folder you're in. That's because you're not in Python yet. You're actually just in the command line. And what we'll do here is we'll do Python 3 space challenge1.py. And then hopefully, nice to meet you app. What's your name? Bob. Nice to meet you, Bob. There you go. That is the first challenge complete. Have a go at yourself with that. Once you've finished the first challenge, you've got two options. You can either go at challenge 2, challenge 3, challenge 4, if you just want to go like that, having a go at the bronze part of each one of those challenges, or you can watch the next video, which will teach you a few more extra bits, the silver and the gold parts, so that you can do the silver and the gold for each of those bits. Okay, good luck and enjoy yourself.